Welcome back. You're listening to Hysteria, the podcast with a dream board for you and us and everybody else. Let's get to Sani Petty. Alyssa, why don't you go first?
Okay, you guys, my Sani is a little emotional. Dr. Kwane Stewart was named CNN's Hero of the Year, and I watched the video. He is a veterinarian who treats people who are experiencing homelessness, their pets. And he said that when he started, it's called Project Street Vet, and he started it when he stopped to help a man who was living on the street, and he bought him a sandwich, and the man gave the sandwich to his dog. And to me, he won $100,000. He, in the middle of everything, not knowing he was going to win, shared it with the other 9 folks who were nominated. And I think in a world that feels so like incredibly dark, I'm going to cry. That was like the most fucking wonderful. Yes, thank you. I'm going to try and do something. It'll never be as nice as what he did, but I just thought that was like a pretty inspiring way to end the year. So thank you, Dr. Kwane Stewart. And I think he's out by you guys, out in California.
That's wonderful. Oh, that's so great.
Sweet.
All right, Alyssa's got a boogie. See you later, Alyssa. Happy New Year. Happy 2023. All right. Grace Parra, you are up.
I have a petty this week. As a new mother, I'm constantly washing my hands. I'm constantly thinking about bacteria, constantly thinking about the things my son's already putting in his mouth, which is everything. So I go to the grocery store trying to buy some soap, okay? I constantly err on the side of buying antibacterial soap that's labeled antibacterial. But then I'm like, wait a second. Isn't all soap antibacterial at its core? Why is it that some soap is labeled antibacterial soap and then a whole bunch of other soaps are not labeled antibacterial? But isn't the whole point that you're fighting bacteria? So what's the difference? Maybe this could be solved with a simple Google. I don't know. But I do know that it angers me and I don't like it. And I think that if there's some sort of different types of bacteria that are being killed by the antibacterial soap, then we got to know about that. And it needs to be labeled something other than antibacterial, because to me, all soap is antibacterial. And I get really confused. And am I damaging my son before he can even speak? I don't know.
Wait, so you don't have an answer to this because now you've put it in my head.
I'm so mad at you, Grace.
And now
I
need the answer.
I'm so sorry.
All soaps matter.
I'm like, oh my God, is the soap I have at home antibacterial? Like, wait a minute. Do I have to go buy a different soap on my way home?
So here's what I learned. I haven't specifically addressed that question myself, but I learned that the way that soap gets bacteria off your hands is you have to use hot water, and the bacteria gets trapped in the soap bubbles. The hot water and the soap bubbles trap the bacteria, and then you rinse it down the sink. That's why you have to wash for a while, because it's like you're not killing the bacteria, you're just like removing them from you by trapping them in the soap. So
You're
like all soap removes. Right. So that's why like if you just like go like this real quick, you're not really like doing anything. That's why you got to wash for a long time. And that's why like if you've got old haggard hands like me, it means that you've washed your hands a lot.
Me too.
I know. I'm like, I wish I would have taken better care of them, more in little dainty gloves.
But if it's a double negative, antibacterial soap, is it bacterial soap?
Yes. Yes.
It's just dirt. We're just like washing our hands in a litter box.
I've started going like this, and for listeners, I'm like using the back of my hands on my face after I do my night routine, like my face routine, and I put a little bit of everything I've put on my face on my hands. Because I'm like, you can't have like a face that looks like this and then have like wrinkly hands.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta take care of my hands, because if somebody ever looked at my hands, they would know I'm 40. Well, like when they look at my face, they don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta. I've started to put a little cream on my hands.
Yeah.
Is there
So
hand Botox? Because I feel like that could be a
oh my God.
They do have
They
that.
do have hand rejuvenation.
Yes, they do have
That's
that.
a real thing.
Okay, that I need.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so long story short, I used to go get Botox at this place in Beverly Hills where Courtney Cox also used to get her Botox done.
Ooh,
And they had a hand
hello.
rejuvenation package that you could buy.
Yeah.
I think it's like injections and like a facial for your hands or whatever. But yeah, anything that you want to look younger, someone's going to charge you money and convince you they can do it for you for the most part. They also have neck rejuvenation, which is, I'm not doing that. Okay, I feel petty about this, but I also think it could evolve into a Sani. So there's like, I don't know. This is tedious. I'm not going to name check any of these brands because like fuck them. But there's a brand of beer that was supposed to be like an anti-woke beer that put, I know it's so
Anti-woke beer? What the
It's
hell?
Okay,
Hilarious.
drinking is in and of itself anti-woke. It is poison. You're putting poison into your body. So like there's no political ideology behind alcohol consumption, whatever. But anyway, it's an anti-woke beer, I think, in response to the whole Bud Light fracas from earlier this year when people were like shooting their cases of Bud Light or whatever dumb shit they were doing. I don't know. Even when I was drinking, I was not drinking Bud Light because it tastes like somebody already drank it and peed into a can. But there is a this anti-woke beer company put out a calendar that it is offensively calling the Real Women of America calendar, featuring women who I guess are chromosomally and, to their definition, biologically female. And that is, again, in response to the fact that Bud Light had a trans woman do a couple of social media posts for them. They're just absolutely losing their marbles. But here's the thing. I just want to point out that the people that are like really into like real women and using the term, real women are completely grossed out by the biological experience associated with having 2 X chromosomes, a vagina, and a uterus. They don't want to, those are the people that are least likely to be able to label a diagram of the female reproductive system, you know? Explain, you love real women so much? Okay. Explain how menstruation works. Why is the inside of my underwear brown on the last couple days? Why is it, can you explain why? That's a trivia question. It's because it's old blood. You know, there you go. You know, the cervix, what does it do? How thick is it? How thin does it get? How much effaced does it get in order for a baby to get out of it? How open does it? Can you show me 10 centimeters with your hand? How big of a wound does the placenta leave in the inside of the uterus after birth? Okay, you love real women so much. You love real women so much.
We grow an organ.
That's not even ours.
That's not even ours.
It doesn't even have our DNA. It has like the baby's DNA. It's not even, it's an alien organ that, like, okay, cool. What's
Guys, I grew
endometriosis?
an accessory placenta. Did you know that?
Oh
What
my
is that?
God.
What?
It's
An
a
extra
second
placenta?
placenta. Yes, it's like a little handbag for the placenta.
Oh my God.
What?
All right,
Our bodies are insane. They're
That's-
insane.
Is ridiculous. My doula held mine up and was like, look at it. Like she was presenting me with a bottle of wine. I'm laying there on the and I was like, oh, that's really gross. Describe, you love real women so much. How does the placenta look? You know what it-
Honestly, can I say something about placenta? This is weird. I've never had kids, but I watched a special on placenta and I had this overwhelming urge to eat it.
Wow.
And I am iron
You
poor.
can,
I
in
am-
fact, eat it.
I am
Yeah.
anemic, and I think it's very rich in iron and nutrients. And
Yeah.
but I've always thought like frying up a placenta would be delicious. I
Okay,
know.
so
Just saying.
in the birth
I'm a
community,
weirdo.
no, you're not weird. You actually would probably get along with my doula. In the birth community, that's like they say like animals in the wild when they give birth usually eat the placenta, and we're like one of the only mammals that doesn't eat the placenta after birth. So you're
need to
not
go.
that weird. That's not like a Dahmer-esque compulsion of you.
Yeah.
That's like kind of normal.
It just looks so like delicious.
Meaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like that cured ham.
Yeah, like a
What is cured? Cured was it
Salami.
thick ham
It looks
and then
like
you cured it?
salami.
it looks like
Yeah.
veiny salami,
Like
a
carne
big-
asada.
a big like record size, like a playing like music record size veiny.
It looks like something
Veiny?
you can make
It's
a
veiny?
really
I'm
good
out.
roast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty veiny.
Yeah. You could, it's pretty veiny. It's very vascular.
I'm out.
That's-
No
so,
veinies.
but here's
No
the thing.
veinies.
Here's the thing. This conversation would make Mike Pence faint. And those are
Yes,
the people that are the most like real women, real women, real women. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, what is perimenopause? What is, you love real women. So what's perimenopause? What's menarche? What's, what's the hymen? What, explain.
What
like,
about the 9-year fart when you take your Spanx off?
I mean, it's all of these people who claim they want real women just want women who are bloodless, painless,
Powerless.
manicured,
Hairless.
silent, stretched out on a calendar for them. And that's not even a real organism. That's just a fucking fantasy. And like, you're gross. You people are gross. And honestly, like, if you're really interested, if these people are really interested in real women, I can go ahead and share tips on my like little postpartum bathroom caddy and all of the steps I had to take to like clean my stitches out and stuff. Because you love real women. You know, they love real women.
They love them.
They love
just love
real
Stitches and all.
women. Yeah, fuck these people. I hate them so much, and I just want to gross them out. And the cool thing is, like, as somebody who has menstruated and has given birth, I have all of this information that is so gross to them. And I think that other people listening who have similar information should willingly and aggressively share it with these people. They love real women.
Real women.
Real women.
Let's all tweet pictures of our placentas to Mike Pence.
Oh,
Yes, that's
Alyssa,
that is.
this is a risky admission, but this is our end of the year show, so I feel, and this is the end of the year show, so I feel like only the real ones are listening right now. But I got my placenta encapsulated.
Oh,
in
You
like pills,
did.
and
Amazing.
I took them, and I don't know if it made a difference whatsoever.
you probably have very strong blood.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mine's in my freezer.
How many
I haven't
pills
figured
did
out
it
what to
come
do
in?
with it.
It was like a little, like the size of like a medium size, like ibuprofen bottle. I would say maybe
Wow.
like 50 or 60 pills.
That's a good
I would get
amount.
it put into pills, Julissa, because, you know, if your power goes out and you're like, you have to call the electric company and tell them your placenta is defrosting.
I'm
Gotta
gonna
get that-
plant it. That was actually my
That's lovely.
yeah, I'm
love
gonna
that.
plant
I
it
love
with like a
that.
fruit tree
Yeah.
Ooh.
because it's like life giving.
Lovely. It's
So
like a
that's
green
my plan.
burial. That's
yeah,
great.
that's my plan, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
All right, Julissa, what are you feeling?
Okay, so this is Sanity Petty, all in one. Erin, I texted you about this. I asked you if you had read that Vox article about how millennial women dread motherhood, or what has caused millennial women to dread
read
motherhood.
this.
And, you know, I read the whole first of all, it took me 3 days to get through this article.
Which is another
because-
reason to dread motherhood.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because of motherhood. And, you know, at various points of this article, I found myself feeling very vindicated, feeling very seen by the difficulties that the author, I forgot, I don't remember her name, but the author points to as the difficulties of motherhood. And then other times I felt very annoyed by this sort of insinuation that that we should have better messaging around motherhood so that other women want to be mothers. That's kind of how I took this article, that it was like, we need that conservative women sort of have it down in the messaging of family values and how good it is to be a mother, but that progressive women, we have to do a better job on like selling motherhood, or like we have to have better messaging around it. And I found that very annoying because it is fucking hard. I just felt like saying to this author, like, I hate to break it to you, but everything you've been told that is making you dread motherhood is for real. And if you become a mother, you are going to experience some of these things. And it's just a fact of life. And could motherhood be made easier by changes in policy? Absolutely. Like, if I didn't have to worry about how am I going to make money, for sure, I could take a year off and just be with my child, who I love spending time with, when I'm not also thinking, oh shit, I should be writing, or, you know, or like this morning, like coming to the studio, and now I'm like, shit, my nanny called in sick on the one day that I'm not home and my husband has to go to work, right? So now he's going to be late to work and whatever. So yes, there are policy changes we can make, like, you know, parental leave and paying women more money throughout their career so we are able to save more money, like having better health care, all of that. Yes. But I'm sorry, it is not messaging that needs to change. If anything, I feel like we need to tell women more about the difficulties of motherhood, because I felt like I was not prepared. Granted, nothing can prepare you for motherhood. Like nothing. Like none of the books that I read, none of the things my friends told me, when people said like, you won't sleep, I didn't realize what it actually meant to not sleep.
Oh my God, Julissa.
you know?
I felt
And
the
like
exact
not
same
only
way.
Yeah, and like not only you're not sleeping, like my body is getting drained every time I'm feeding this child. So like I am sleepless and I am depleted of all of my nutrients. So like I never understood what that was, and I don't think you can understand it until you actually go through it.
Yeah.
So like
But
I
it's
actually
insulting
think
to deprive us of that information.
yes.
Yes,
So I
it's
actually think
insulting. That's exactly
I actually think I actually think we need to tell more women about how difficult it is, because I do feel like I would have gone into it with different expectations that may have eased some of my experience in the early days and weeks of motherhood.
Well, and then the good stuff is like when you say for me, I don't know if I'm just like woo-woo, but when you say the good stuff out loud, people are like kind of give you the side eye and are like, you're crazy. So the good stuff is like you feel so powerful. The power that you have to create life. Like I am a portal through which life and death passes.
100%.
And you feel it's like, and the bond that you have with your child is completely, it is different than anything anybody else can have. And like, it is so special and so incredible, but it's hard to even articulate because we don't have like the words.
Yeah, and it's like yes, I didn't want to have an epidural. I didn't have an epidural. I gave birth to this child without an epidural. Yes, I felt fucking like, man, I am a fucking rock star. I fucking took that pain and like. Bam, I did it, 3 hours late. Granted, my labor was only 3 hours. 3 hours labor. Boom, she was out,
Amazing.
And so like, yes, all of that. And also it's been really difficult. It's been really hard. And to your point, like there are moments where I just feel like, oh my God, like this is everything I ever dreamed of. Like Sunday morning, my husband and I were laying in our bed with like our baby. She was like rolling around. She was like, she's starting to crawl and she was laughing and she was like making little bubbles like, and we just thought it was like the cute. And there's a moment where I was like, this is what I imagined it would be, like this little family that we're building. It's beautiful. And like, there are so many beautiful things about it. And also it's really hard. Like even going to a restaurant, my friend and I try to go to brunch and this like hostesses at the restaurant were looking at us like so annoyed that they had to find a table for us that could also fit our strollers, And I'm like,
children are a part of society, guys.
Yes,
children are a part of society.
And then you see things like, oh, we should have planes without kids. Like I was on this plane and this woman gave me the dirtiest look because my baby was crying. I'm like, you think I want my baby to cry? Like, no, I feel terrible for my baby because she wants to sleep and she can't. So I gave that woman a ugly look right back. And if you know me,
what are you doing on a plane without headphones anyway?
That's what my husband said. He said, you know what?
Exactly.
It's 2023, and if you do not have noise canceling headphones, that is on you.
Yeah.
Not on me and my baby. And if you know me, I can give a very, very strong ugly look, and that's what this woman got. And so this article both made me feel vindicated because I'm like, yes, I feel all these things, and also I felt really annoyed throughout reading it because I was like, girlfriend, if you're trying to convince yourself you need to have kids, like you should. I had to convince myself, but also know that the things people are telling you are
true.
real.
Yeah. I completely agree. I kind of am over in 2024 articles about having children written by people who don't have children. And no offense to people who don't have children. I just think that like it's sort of analogous to like if you have children, you know what it's like to not have children. And if you don't have children, you don't know what it's like to have children.
Yes.
And so I think that perspective is valuable. I thought the Vox piece was very nuanced and like the best version of that. Like somebody who was writing about an experience that they haven't had with a sense of like honesty and awareness of how much, where their limitations were. So like I thought it was good. Definitely worth
I didn't
reading.
hate it. It was just,
Yeah, it's just sort of like I just kind of don't really need. I don't know how valuable a perspective on an experience that doesn't include the experience itself is. You know, I've never played football, and I'm not writing articles about like how to play football. You know what I mean? Like, or anyway, that was a bad first pitch. All right, we could do an entire show on this. Honestly,
I think we really
yes,
should.
and we should. By the way, I love that.
Or
idea.
we should all just get together and have a. Shirley
We should
Temple.
do that first.
We
should do that.
Anti-woke beer together.
Oh, man.
Real women.
Real fucking
Real
women.
women.
So stupid. Like, what does it even mean? Okay, anyway. Michaela,
Yeah. Oh boy, this is gonna sound so trite and stupid.
Yeah, but it's called I Feel Petty.
I know,
Yeah.
but I just mean after Julissa, this beautiful, poetic, delightful experience of motherhood and lamentation, and now here I am, like, so I'm reading this book about decluttering.
Tell me about it. I need that.
It's a book that somebody gave me a long time ago, and it just resurfaced in my house, and I just started reading it, and I was like, this is brilliant. It's decluttering for artistic people, for creative people. It's specifically decluttering for creative people, and I'm enjoying reading it so much. I haven't lifted a finger and decluttered a single thing, but I love. It's like, do you ever lay in bed and watch people like do stretches that like are meant to take the pain away from your back, and you never actually do them, but you watch somebody like put themselves in a pretzel, and you're like, God, that must feel really good.
No, I don't do
You
that.
never actually do,
Sure.
but you never actually get yourself into that position and actually cure your own back. So that's what I'm doing with this book. But it's very relaxing to me because I'm also having this feeling of wanting to purge and get rid of things and simplify. And it's called A New Order, and it's written by a woman named Faye Wolf, who is a actress and a musician, and she also started a business. As you know, we have these side hustles, and started a business to declutter people's homes, and realized that it's a very different kind of beast when you have like an ADHD creative person trying to get rid of things, because you have things like, well, these are ideas I wrote on a notepad, however many years ago. That's very different than, doilies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been reading this, and it's so helpful and gratifying to see that there one day when I stop reading the book and I actually do the things that I'm meant to do, that I could have someone who speaks to my, neurodivergent artistic side and be able to get out from under all my crap that I'm weirdly way too attached to, that I'm never going to need,
Yeah.
So anyway,
we have a credenza that is half full of like screeners and screenplays sent in like the little FYC.
get rid of it.
Oh,
I know, but what
Dump
if I
it.
want to read the pilot
You
for Band
never-
of Brothers?
You can call your agent and
You
say,
can go to
send me
the-
the pilot
yeah.
for the Band of
You can
Brothers.
go to the WGA library.
I know. But no, I get it. I think that's a very specific thing. And also, I think everybody here probably has a pile of notebooks with like 8 pages
Yes.
written in them. And they're like ideas. And like maybe you were working on an idea and then you forgot that notebook you were using. So you use a different notebook. And then you went back to that other note. Oh my God. I had this.
That's what we need we need to scan. We need like a scanner for our stupid ideas so that they're all digital and on the cloud somewhere, and you can get rid of.
Like an AI writer's assistant, but just for one person, kind of.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes. It's a
And
brilliant
my
idea.
brain just broke.
I'm sorry. On that note, that is all the time we have for this week's end of the year, final episode of 2023 of Hysteria. I'm so glad you could join us. Grace, thank you so much for joining me remotely while pumping. Julissa, thank you for joining in studio. Michaela, thank you for joining. Alyssa, thank you for being my ride or die. And listeners, thank you so much for your loyalty and for your amazing letters. If you want to get in touch, hysteria@crooked.com. And we will see you next year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.